Want to welcome all of you to our training today. It's Glenn Dietzel here, and I'm actually in transition, and I'm really glad that I could do this training here with you. As I get ready to come to India and meet so many of you, I want to share with you one of the hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of processes and systems that I've created and my clients depend on. It's part of a complete mentoring package or program that my clients leverage all over the world. And one of the small snippets of the program is our breakthrough consultation formula to sell high-priced coaching programs. So you're going to want to take a few notes here, maybe jot down some diagrams. Writing is the doing part of thinking. There's a lot I'm going to be covering. So it's going to be some pretty intense training. And this will help you get ready for the live event or events by which that you'll be attending, and I trust that our paths will cross while I'm in India. So I'm excited today to talk to you and consult with you on this consultation formula. So I want to deliver the context here, if you will, on the consultative process, and beginning with the end in mind. So the end is the consultation process, and we've got a lot of tools and systems that we teach our clients on how to close deals and how to really stand apart in this huge sea of sameness in today's market. But beginning with the end in mind in the consultation process, I want to back up just a little bit and talk to you about how to stand apart in today's market, where you don't have to follow what everybody else is doing and trying to step out in a noisy market in a sea of what I call a sea of sameness. And how do you really set yourself apart from all the noise in your industry? Well, if you want to do this, whether you're in startup mode or you're a seasoned entrepreneur or business owner, you want to have systems, processes, tools, templates from which to work from, so you can literally attract your ideal candidates. So I want to show you how to literally flip the sales process and instead have your ideal clients wanting to work with you and desiring not only to work with you, but desiring your highest end programs and services. And one of the systems that I built right from my early days when I transitioned from a teacher and was recognized by Adobe, I created one of the very first ebook authoring programs in the world, and from that got recognized by Adobe, and all of a sudden I had a lot of corporations that wanted to get my assistance to help them with building their curriculum, and most importantly then retaining me to pitch their deals. I developed some very specialized skills. So the tools and systems processes that I teach my clients in the 10-step consultative process, which is one of the hundreds of systems, will not just assist you to start or grow a coaching or an expert or an advisory platform for your advice, but more importantly, it's going to allow you to become the coach's coach or the expert's expert or the advisor's advisor. And in today's marketplace, if you go to Amazon or you go to LinkedIn, you're going to see there's just so many experts. So you've got to know how to position yourself as the thought leader in your marketplace. And this is what I've been able to do. And I'm not that smart of a guy. What I do have is a lot of very cool systems, and you're going to love the system, this process. So I want to backtrack just a little bit here before we move into, as I mentioned, into the 10-step consultative process. And I want to talk to you about the importance of, whoops. Let's hold on a second here. I want to talk to you about consultative speaking, because the 10-step consultative process is a small part of the bigger picture, and that's understanding how to use consultative speaking in every speaking engagement. So when we talk about speaking engagements, I talk about doing these speaking live, virtual, or so in person or virtual training. So they could be Google Hangouts, it could be webinars, it could be live speaking. Most of my clients want to know how to get up and deliver keynotes and deliver a presentation so that they can close more business. Or when we talk about the word close, we want to think about opening up long-term value, building a reputation with your audience where they want to do business with you. So I really believe, and you want to write this down, you can build a world-class company from an amazing presentation, but you've got to get the syntax right, okay? So just like in grammar or in English, there is a specific, or if you're learning whatever language you're learning, there's a specific syntax in learning a language. And I personally believe, assisting hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of companies all over the world to start and scale their companies, I believe you could build a great company off an amazing presentation. So when we talk about syntax, we want to make sure we never lose sight of the big picture. That is your content or the advice that you present, the context that you create for your content. So your advice is so important, right? We live in the advisory age, what I call the trusted advisory age, the day and age when you've got to position yourself against all the competition. So you've got to know how to build an advisory-based business. You need to know how to become a trusted advisor or an expert advisor. So before you deliver your content, you want to build the right context for your content. And most importantly, then, in building the right context, you've got to know the strategy to use to increase the financial power of your advice. So my question to you, as you are thinking about your syntax, bringing your ideas, bringing your recommendations to the market, because we live in the recommendation age. So you need to know how to transform ideas and information into recommendations. You want to think about the content, the context, and the strategy that you give to, or that you bring to your market. Okay, so when we talk about syntax, we're talking about those three areas. So why consultative speaking? All right, why is this so important? And this is, again, if you will, the front end of the 10-step consultative formula that I'm going to walk you through here very shortly. But I want to build this here so you can see the bigger picture, because it's really important in today's market that you know how to stand apart. So why consultative speaking? Well, speaking as a business strategy is fundamental in changing the trajectory of your results. So instead of taking off like an airplane, what if you could take off like a rocket ship? Okay, and that's what we're talking about, and that's why consultative speaking is so important. So if you take off as a plane, you're going to take off from the runway and you're going to move forward in a linear fashion. I call this the traditional business funnel, all right, if we're talking about business now. And the problem with this model, the problem with this system, and most experts subscribe to this, and this is what they teach, you know, a traditional approach to building a business, an advisory-based business or a coaching business, where you start with low-end programs and you build out higher-end programs and services. And eventually on the timeline, you develop enough cash flow where you actually become profitable. And that's this area right here, okay? And so this is the goal if you're going to follow what most experts are teaching. Now, I need to warn you that my advice goes against 99.9% of the advice in the online space today. And in fact, the hundreds of experts that fly in to work directly with me at the Canadian Lake Home. I am a Canadian, and and we do very high-end intensives at the Canadian Lake Home. The goal that everybody wants to know how is how do you move away from this linear growth into what I call accelerated growth, and really building accelerated cash flow, which I've colored in here yellow, and building a moat for your business. Just like in medieval times when castles had a moat, they had walls and they had a ditch dug out around the moat, around the entire castle, and there were crocodiles in that moat, or to prevent the enemy from getting or attacking the castle. So you want to develop a moat. And I want to begin to get you thinking about how do you build context for your advice? How do you add strategy to your advice? And how can you tap into the power of accelerated cash flow, this area right here? So you don't have to go the slow way and try to build over here. And this is, so I colored this red over here to show you that this is a danger zone. And the problem is, in today's market with so much competition, and because we live in a sea of sameness in the online world, and it's so hard to stand apart in today's market, there's actually, it's taking longer and longer and longer to hit this area of profitability. So I believe that you can hit the area of profitability a lot faster if you use speed to market. And if you take an accelerated approach to business, and I really believe you can, even you're in startup mode, you can move right into profitability if you have the right tools and systems and processes. So it's important that you know how to execute. So changing the trajectory of how you operate is fundamental to business acceleration. And all of my clients want business acceleration. They want speed to market. And I know you want the same as well. So here's 3 keys to accelerated growth. First of all, you want to focus on the size of sale. And I'm known as Mr. High Price Programs. I'm known as the company, or in the business owner and the mentor that assists clients on how to create high-end programs and services and sell them using a proprietary system. So you never have to hard pitch. You never have to use traditional sales strategies and tactics that in today's marketplace are increasingly becoming less effective. And everything I've created is assists, especially those that are selling intangible products and services, and so my systems and processes are really geared towards selling coaching, consulting, and training programs. Now, many of my clients sell physical widgets and have physical companies, but if you understand the importance of knowing how to create a value proposition and you want to scale the size of your sale, you're going to love these systems that I'm going to share with you, especially the overview of the 10-step consultative process. Now, I could spend months training you in this, but we only have 45 minutes here before I have to be on another call with a client. So I want to give you as much as I possibly can. So I'm going to up the cadence of my speaking right now, if I have your permission. So normally my speaking is around 95 to 100 miles an hour with some wind gusts of 130 to 140. So you're going to feel some of that today. So I want to just prepare you as we move forward here. So the second key to accelerated growth is increasing the number of sales. And this is where you want to have an amazing presentation. And thirdly, the repeat frequency or repeat sales is another key to accelerated growth, and you want to use advisory-based tools. Remember I said we don't live in the information age anymore. We live in the recommendation age or the advisory age. So you've got to have advisory-based tools. And the 10-step consultative process is one of the advisory-based tools that our clients have, and I want to share with you today. So our goal then is to move into, again, the accelerated cash flow sector and create a moat. And the systems and processes my clients have access to really provide them a moat in today's market. So secondly, why consultative speaking? Not only do you want to change the trajectory of your results, but you want to be able to compress the sales cycle and increase the size of your price point. So if you look at the traditional sales cycle for coaching programs, for example, I've broken it up into awareness, consideration, purchase, service, loyalty. And what most experts teach is you've got to have PR, you've got to use offline ads, radio, TV, social media, lead generator, have an online ad spend, viral email, publishing partner search, landing page, blog, LinkedIn, third-party sites, direct mail, sales team, training, consultation, call center, website, mobile app, IM chat, call center, promotion, upsell, blog, email, newsletter. This is a traditional way of building a coaching company or any kind of business for that matter. With the system I'm going to share with you today, part of it with our 10-step consultation process, it will really assist you to become an expert advisor, not just an expert, but an expert advisor. And what if you had the ability to combine awareness, consideration, purchase, service all in one and tie that into a powerful loyalty royalty model? Now, I'm not here to teach on coaching and co-branding or speed to profits program today. And that's some of the training that I'm going to do when I'm in India. But I want to share with you the 10-step consultative process. We're part of a bigger program or system to help you decrease the sales cycle. Because when you're able to decrease the sales cycle, you're able to create more time for yourself, more time for your business. I call that ROIT, return on invested time. And when you create more time for yourself and for your company, now you have time to grow your company. Now you have time to be a lot more strategic than your competitors. And if you want to fast track this and grow a company, you want to follow what I'm sharing with you right now. And again, it's not because I'm super smart. It's just that this is a byproduct of $5.5 million US I've spent putting these kinds of systems and processes in place and working with thousands of clients all over the world to help them implement. In order to help my clients implement, they love the fact that they have access to my systems and processes so that I can help them execute even faster. So why consultative speaking? Thirdly, then, if you hate selling, you want to know how to integrate value-based selling so you are seen as an expert advisor. Okay? You following me? You getting this? So when it comes to building coaching companies, the typical, what I call the sea of sameness sequence, multi-tier funnel, functional marketing, marketing mix, marketing research strategy. This is what most companies teach, most quote unquote experts teach. Problem with starting with a multi-tier funnel is failure to create a proper competitive intelligence and competitive advantage. And then the problem next is that your focus is on low-end, time-wasting activities with no speed to market. So I hope you understand this is why you want to think about knowing how to command maximum fees for high-end coaching, consulting, training programs. And every business, whether you sell a physical widget or you sell advice, is a coaching business, is a mentoring business. And my clients that have sell physical widgets, physical processes, physical items, they want to be able to tap into an advisory-based streams of income. And my clients that want to sell more coaching, consulting, and training absolutely love this because they understand the pain of this down here, the sea of sameness sequence. So accelerated focus and execution is lost, throwing money at non-return on investment time exercise. Why? Again, because you're focusing on low-end time-wasting activities. Why? Because you failed to create a competitive intelligence, a proper competitive intelligence. So what does this lead to then? Instead of scaling your business with smart decisions, research focused on trying to catch up and creating momentum. And it's painful to try to have to catch up and feel that. You always feel like you're behind. Do you understand what I'm saying? In today's market, where it's not the big that eats the small anymore, it's the fast that consume the slow, you've got to know how to execute faster. So the problem that most coaches, consultants, and trainers face and are facing today, and I can tell you this after interviewing over 3,000 coaches over the last few years, most coaches, even seasoned experts now, feel like they're in startup mode. Desperation kicks in, and now they're looking at a better strategy. So we want to follow, and I really recommend you follow the sequence that I teach my clients. First of all, there's IP market research. Then we integrate strategy in an inversion conversion business funnel. So you don't have to create multi-tiered funnels with all kinds of copy and pitching this low-end program and trying to get people to consume it and move into the next program. The reality in today's market is your marketplace expects to get your best and then they're gone. So you've got to integrate strategy with an inversion conversion funnel, and you've got to have marketing systems that reach both B2B and B2C. And then truly you can leverage functional marketing that allows you to command maximum fees and royalties for high-end programs and services. Okay, you getting this? You following me? So I wanted to share with you a little bit of background on why consultative speaking is so important. Now, so what is consultative speaking? Before I share with you the 10-step consultative process And there's overlap with that with consultative speaking. What is consultative speaking? It's a process by which you transform your message, causing your audience to rationally come to the conclusions you designed for them to arrive at beforehand. It's literally like reading their mind. Now, one of our programs that my clients love, because many of my CEO clients and those that are really entrepreneurial and those that want to grow an internationally recognized coaching company, like the hundreds and hundreds of clients that I feature, they all know they need to speak. They need to speak more influentially, more powerfully. They need to be able to get up in front of an audience. So you want to leverage consultative speaking in a way that really gets your potential clients to, and your audience to think that you're reading their mind, okay? Would you not be a lot more powerful if you had that ability? Of course. Consultative speaking, using the system I'm going to teach you, and when I'm in India, I'm going to be covering Build a Killer Coaching Business from the stage. It's singularly the most powerful strategy you can implement in your business immediately, since it elevates your conversion processes. And what you want to think about is that you want to understand this, that lead generation is not the most important item for your business. Having better conversion processes, because I can teach you how to build all kinds of leads, but if you don't know how to convert those leads, especially if you don't know how to command maximum fees and invert the business funnel so that you can half your sales cycle, or even 1/5 or 1/10 your sales cycle, you're going to struggle, and it doesn't matter how many leads you have. So you've got to start with better conversion processes, and that's what consultative speaking is. Again, we want to focus on the yellow zone here. The money sectors are in knowing how to use systems and processes. You want to take a systems approach, not a goal approach, for success in today's market. The right systems and processes will give you the barrier of entry in your market. Warren Buffett always looks for companies that have a barrier to entry, a strong barrier to entry. And you want to be able to accelerate in this zone up here, in the accelerated zone here, so that you can truly create a competitive advantage right here, okay? So what are the 5 unforgiving mistakes then, before I give you the 10-step consultative process? Here are the 5 unforgiving mistakes. And I want you just to note, as I go through these, which ones you are making and which one is the biggest one that's holding you back. First of all, not changing the trajectory of how you operate. Split focus is why you lose. Trying to build multi-tiered funnels with all kinds of copy and listening to all kinds of experts, or thinking that you can do this on your own, is simply causing you to create split focus. Secondly, not creating operating leverage from your digital product to presentation, allowing you to get out from under your business. Now, one of the presentations I'm going to give when I'm in India is how to create a digital product that allow you to sell high-end programs and services of $25,000 to $100,000 or more. So how you create your front end is so important. I want to underscore that. How you create your product and integrate operating leverage is crucial to success in today's market. The third unforgiving mistake, not knowing how to engineer a presentation that flips the sales process, naturally compelling the audience to want to invest in your highest end programs. The fourth unforgiving mistake, not focusing on creating a system within your presentation which provides the correct syntax to influence your audience's perceptions. Okay? Now, my clients absolutely love what I teach in this area, in all 5 of these areas, to overcome these unforgiving mistakes so they can execute it with confidence. You see, when you have systems and processes, and you take a systems approach to business success, you can rest in the system and allow you to have more time to get out from underneath your business and think a lot more strategically. Then 5th, not being trained properly to give your presentation in front of live audiences. That's just a huge mistake that I see all kinds of leaders around the world, and tomorrow's leaders that want to be today's leader. You understand what I'm saying? Really understanding how to create and give a presentation using consultative speaking. Okay, so those are the 5 mistakes. Which one are you bleeding, or which one's causing you to hemorrhage the greatest? But what I want you to underscore right now is the way that you're executing your presentations and your business is hemorrhaging your profits. Remember, one of my first suppositions, or one of my first centers of thought to get you thinking strategically, is that you could build a world-class company from a great presentation. And then from that presentation, wrapping it with the right systems and tools and processes to scale the financial power of your advice and really tap into a powerful royalty model. Okay, but I'm not talking about that here. Want to really get you thinking around how do you consult, how to use consultative speaking, how do you provide your advice or teach your advice that, first of all, is constrained by the context, and secondly, is constrained by the strategy that you use to bring that to the market. So the key question to ask yourself is then, how do you compress the sales cycle and increase the size of the price point in your presentations? Okay, so that's a fundamental question that you want to think about, because the faster you can compress the sales cycle and the greater that you can sell your programs and services for, or the greater the investment point in your presentations, and with all the tools and systems that you have and the 10-step consultative process, it's one of those at the back end, if you will, of how you present, package, and profit from your intellectual property, your IP, your recommendations, is fundamental to growing and scaling a business. Or more specifically, how do you integrate your message with a consultative speaking formula which educates your marketplace to see you as the standard? That means that all your competitors measure themselves against you. And secondly, and who want to hire only you. So your potential candidates see you as the standard. Every marketplace has a standard, right? A gallon of gas or a liter of gas is standardized around the world. So you know that whatever country you go to, a gallon of gas or a liter of gas is the same. Similarly, distances. When I fly to a certain area and I see time, it's going to take me 14 hours to fly from Pearson to Abu Dhabi, for example. That 14 hours is the same 14 hours no matter where I am in the world. So every industry has a standard. I want you to think about yourself as a standard in your market. And secondly, when you know how to flip the business funnel, when you know how to educate your marketplace strategically away from your competition where they only want to hire you, you stop potential candidates from shopping around and you become a lot more influential, and the financial power of your advice goes through the roof, right? You become a lot more influential. And this is a powerful way to build a message and create global impact. And we all want to do that, right? So I just want to quote here Marcus Buckingham, Kirk Kaufman. They're two New York Times bestselling authors. They say that entrepreneurs must have a base of loyal customers who are willing to pay a premium price. It's even better if these people become advocates, thereby creating a large, loyal, and vocal unpaid sales force. So one of the best ways of creating massive leverage for your programs and services and massive momentum and getting people to want to move forward with you is to leverage the power of having high-end programs and services and having your clients as advocates. All right, so just a little bit of background. Now I want to move into the breakthrough consultation formula. Okay, so these are 10 steps here. And first of all, we're going to go through this really quick. I'm going to delve into this further when I'm in India training. And I'm really excited about this. I am so passionate to help companies increase their profits today. I am a teacher by passion and training. If you get a chance to meet my wife, who's from Scotland, her name is Fiona. Fiona will always tell you I'm a coach and I'm a consultant, I'm a trainer, I'm a teacher, and I will always be that until the day that I pass away. Why? Because it's ingrained within me from the time that I was a school teacher to an assistant head to scaling the corporate ladder in the educational world to become the youngest director in education. It was always ingrained within me to get my students the results that they wanted faster and quicker. And so I always raised the bar on my students. I want to assist you right now to raise the bar on how you are consulting, whatever you're doing, whatever industry you're in. You must have better conversion processes than what your competition has. And so the breakthrough consultation formula is a way to begin to start thinking more strategically about your advice, providing the right context, and thinking about the strategy that you use. So when you follow this process here today, you're going to begin to start consulting using the precise manner that I teach my clients, in a way that your audience wants to listen to you, even if they don't voice it. So it's based on the latest in neuroscience, in neuro-linguistic programming, and accelerated learning, which I have a background in. And so you want to make sure you understand this. First of all, you want to start with the novel or the big idea. Okay? So step one of the consultative process is you want to present your ideas, your recommendations now. So it's not good enough to have an idea. I just frame that for you so to get you thinking. You want to think from an idea toward a thesis. That is, what are you proving? Okay? So I want to help you become a lot clearer in your thinking. And too many business owners today are too foggy in their thinking. And they don't really nail what they're trying to prove in the market. And you're trying to prove that you have a very specific system. And this is what I help my clients create, a system that solves a very specific problem in the market that's focused on nailing one of the gaps in the market. I'm going to cover the 5 gaps that exist in any market here really quickly, shortly, okay? So you want to use a USP differentiation process to create your competitive advantage. So when we talk about USP, we're talking specifically about a unique sales or selling proposition or position, which means your differentiation, your market differentiation. Okay? So I have a specific USP differentiation process. It's internationally recognized, and I teach my clients on how to make sure they stand apart in today's market. But I'm not teaching on this today, but I just want to make sure that you understand this is part of transforming a novel or a big idea into a thesis that creates a powerful competitive advantage. And then you learn how to create a powerful headline that's a representative of your market differentiation. So I want to give you a URL here. This is a really good URL to get you to think critically and more clearly around building a headline for your advice. And it's aminstitute.com/headline/index.htm. Okay, use that, become a lot more powerful in the way that you begin to engage your market in the way they want to retain your advice. Secondly, so the next step of the consultation formula, step 2, is understanding and communicating the major change that's going on in your market. Okay, notice you're not giving any of your recommendations yet. You are, but you're doing it in a very precise manner. So step 2 is you want to nail the major change in the market. And what you want to begin to start thinking about is, what is the trending data? What's different that's going on in your market? And start thinking about a bold prediction. Now you're going to leverage the bold prediction just before step 7 in the consultative process. Now, I've got a specific process that I teach my clients on how to create a bold prediction. If you think about any expert today that rises above all the experts in their market and that truly becomes a trusted advisor, is able to create a bold prediction. Because the media, what's one of the questions the media always asks of those that stand apart from all the experts? What's your prediction about? And then you fill in the blank. So you've got to have a bold prediction. I like the website marketingsherpa.com just to keep an eye on what's going on in the area of business and marketing. And I recommend that site to you just to take a look and begin to start thinking about what's going on in your market. So for coaches and consultants, you really want to understand co-branding and how to create royalties in today's market. That's a massive change. And so one of the speaking engagements that I'll be doing in India is teaching you my coaching and co-branding model, which is the most powerful way to build royalties, passive income that's cumulative, that's recurring, that comes in like clockwork, and you're going to absolutely love the training. Okay. But so my point in saying that is you've got to know what's going on in the market and position your company at the forefront of what's going on. Step number 3, you want to then nail the major problem that your service solves. Okay. So before you build a better mousetrap, you want to focus on building a better problem. I hope you understand what I just said. Before you build a better mousetrap, that is, before you build a better service or product, you want to make sure that your audience or your ideal candidates understand the problem in a way that they don't see the problem right now. And you want to develop that problem in a way that your competitors aren't. Okay, so notice again, we're building context. Remember we talked about some of the key points that I wanted to talk about before we got into our breakthrough consultation formula. That's why I spent some time talking about consultative speaking. You want to build context. And so you want to organize your problem, the problem you unravel, into 3 core areas. And you want to differentiate yourself and your company based on 3 avatars or 3 ideal clients that you have, current clients or former clients. Who are those 3 avatars? Who are those 3 archetypes? Who are those 3 representatives of the clients that you work with? Okay, so you want to think about who they are, and you want to start differentiating yourself based on these 3 avatars. Now, I'm going to go into this deeper in step 4 and step 5 and step 6. So there's definitely overlap. And step 3, and again, we're just going through this really quickly here, okay? Because I only have a fixed amount of time here to get you to start transforming your thinking. And this is why you definitely don't want to miss the further training I'm going to do in this area, so that I can assist you to begin to execute and focus a lot more strategically. Third point then, under building a better problem, is you want to use a Venn diagram approach to get you started and create your differentiation around the gap you solve in the market. Okay, a Venn diagram, just think about your math days. You remember your math teachers had you draw 3 overlapping circles, and that represented 3 areas, and the mutually inclusive area of these 3 overlapping circles that you drew, that represented something that was common to all 3 areas. Well, you want to take a Venn diagram approach to thinking about your differentiation, okay? Now, I don't have a lot of time to go through this, but I just wanted to really bring out the importance of nailing the gap in your market around what makes your service different or your product, right? But since I love, and most of my clients want to build a coaching, consulting, training company, and they want to do it in the fastest time possible, we'll really consider a service. And whether you sell if you sell just a physical widget right now, you want to think about how can you turn the advice that you give away for free right now into a service and build another stream of income as well. So there's only 5 market gaps. You want to create or solve gaps to innovate and exploit to ensure you are relevant. And the problem with most companies today is they're losing their relevancy in today's market. So you want to make sure you remain relevant. So you want to tie your competitive advantage around your frame. So the first gap in the marketplace is how you frame the problem. The secondly is the body of knowledge that you bring to the market. What is it that's different, and how are you going to communicate that knowledge? Third gap in the market is a skill gap. How do you assist clients that's different than what your competitors do? The fourth gap in any market today, any business, is a time gap. How can you assist clients to optimize their performance and get the results that they want faster? And then the fifth gap in any market is a price value gap. Now, most of my clients don't want to compete as a commodity. And when you're competing as a commodity, you're really competing against price. And most of my clients want to move away from a price model to a value model. And I really recommend you do the same as well. So when you move away from a price model to a value model, and we're going to have much more to say about that in other training and how to do this, you become a lot more influential, and you can really increase the financial power of your advice, okay? So step 4 then, whoops, this should be 4 here, not 1. But see, I just want to show you that I'm not perfect. This is all about speed to market. So you want to use the 30-second pitch formula to ensure you are 100% relevant. So this is step 4, okay? So sentence, now there's 5 sentences you want to think about, and I'm just going to go through this really quickly. Sentence 1, you want to nail your service description. Sentence number 2, you want to focus on how your service works without getting into all the minutiae. You want to take a big bird's eye view with sentence 1 and 2. In sentence 3 to 5, you want to build your competitive advantage around 3 avatars of clients with which you work. Okay? So let me give you an example using New Guru model. This is one of our systems. It's a new way of building an expert advisory platform. So what do? Let me just show you using the 5-sentence formula. I teach entrepreneurs to command maximum fees and royalties for high-priced programs. That's sentence number 1. Sentence number 2, we do this by flipping the funnel and positioning a higher value product or service for from $10,000 to $50,000 or higher. Our clients typically come to us under one of 3 scenarios. So here's sentence 3 to 5. They're looking at becoming experts without having to write a book. So that's one of my differentiators. Secondly, or they're experts, but rather than charging $200 an hour or $500 an hour or $15 for their book, they want to create a high-end program. And third sentence under my client avatar differentiation, they don't want to become an expert and want to run their own high-end mastermind groups. And so we've got specific systems and processes for that. And a summary statement, in the last 13 years, our coaches and alliance members have generated over $250 million in added revenue. Okay, so that's my quick 30-second pitch. That's our 30-second pitch formula. Sentence 1 and 2, nail the big picture. And 3, 4, and 5, nail differentiation through an avatar format. Okay, so that brings us to step number 5. Communicate your differentiation by diagramming your competitive advantage. So this is huge, everybody. You want to ensure with 100% certainty that your marketplace remembers your message. And how do you do that? You create a visual spatial representation of what your system does, so you can show clearly what makes your system different than what your competitors do, and clearly communicate your ROI, your return on investment. That's what your clients want, right? They want ROI. So you want to think about how can you communicate a visual spatial representation. So how do you draw out your competitive advantage that clearly differentiates you from all your competition? Now, I'm not going to share with you the exact system that my clients use. We're going to go into that further in additional training in India. But I want you to start thinking about communicating what you do visually and spatially, because you're the potential candidates for your programs and services. And you do this, we all do this. We communicate words to pictures and moving pictures. So you want to create a picture, a visual representation, and a moving picture, a spatial representation of what makes you different compared to what your competitors fail to do, okay? And then thirdly, you want to build massive allure. And so many companies today struggle because they don't know how to create massive allure. And one of the keys of doing this, and there's actually 8 ways that I teach my clients to create allure. We're going to cover this in Build a Killer Coaching Business from the Stage. I'm going to show you how to do this in our Speed to Profits program and creating a digital product. But one of those ways is in diagramming your competitive advantage and creating allure. And there's 8 ways, okay? So moving forward then, step number 6, you want to leverage the diagram of your competitive advantage that we just talked about in step 5 with 3 to 5 teaching points to build massive intrigue. So now you finally begin to teach what you do. And the problem with so many coaches, consultants, and business owners, everybody, you ask them, you know, at any coffee shop or when you're out at conferences, what do you do? And everybody starts talking about what they do. And really what they're doing is they're moving into step 6 of the consultative process and they're failing immediately. Why? Because everybody stops listening. Why? Because you didn't talk or you didn't discuss what you do using the proper syntax. Remember we talked about before you build content, you've got to build the right context and you got to think about the strategy that you use. And so I want you to think about one of the strategies that I use and I teach my clients all over the world so they can command maximum fees. Think about you becoming a lot more powerful. So I want you to stop how you are communicating your advice, and I want you to start reconsidering and re-engineering what you're doing. So you want to use what I call the PCA process. Stands for paradigm. Before you develop, you want to start with the paradigm or the context. That's the P. The C is then you want to deliver your content with a focus towards the action step. Okay? So you want to think about when you share your advice, your 3 to 5 teaching points in step 5, you want to think about, first of all, the right context, then developing the content through your avatar. What were they able to do, and what was the action step that you want your potential candidates to take based on what your avatar of client took? Okay? You want to leverage 3 to 5 case studies outlined in step 4. And then step 7, finally, now you communicate the investment point. Only in step 7 do you communicate the investment point. And at this point, you want to leverage your bold prediction. Okay, this is so important you follow this syntax. Then step number 8, the next steps, this is a critical step in the consultation process. Now you're going to focus on having your prospective clients qualify themselves to you. We've got all kinds of systems and processes to do this, both from live speaking to one-on-one to meeting over coffee or virtual. And I assist sales teams or entrepreneurial CEOs to incorporate all this into their speaking engagements, into how they present, how they package, present, and profit from their advice. Step 9, only after step 8 will you send them an executive summary to those who qualify, and you'll vet them directly based on your 5 vetting criteria. So you should have 5 vetting criteria. And then finally, you want to calendar a time to follow up and close the deal. Okay, so that's the 10-step consultative formula. I've taken a really fast approach. We're just about out of time here. I always allow 5-minute buffer time. I've got another call coming in. So if you would like to go into this a little bit deeper, I've got a template for you. You can go to newgurumodel.com/consultative-selling and just enter your first name, your email address, and you can get access to the template. You'll love the training. That's some additional training, and it'll allow you to really benefit from the training that I do with you. And of course, for those of you that haven't yet got your ticket to India and be part of the big stage at the Super Achievers Summit, you definitely want to go there right away and talk to Ram Anand or his team. And you definitely don't want to miss that. And I want you to come up. I want you to meet me, and love to spend some time with you. If I've got some time, I'm going to be doing a lot of consults while I'm there. I'm going to be meeting with clients and businesses while I'm there. But I also want to allocate time. So I'd love for you to reach out to me. Definitely get the 10-step consultative template. And I've just had some brief time here just to get you to start thinking about re-engineering your advice so you can become a lot more strategic and think about the advice that you integrate into how you present and consult, so you become a lot more powerful in today's market. I look forward to our paths crossing in India. Have a great one, everyone. And please make sure that you reach out and introduce yourself to me. Have a great one.